Oh, we live. We're live on yours. Yes. Now we're live on mine. Hey y'all. Okay, so I am Aneisha at Honey Dip Yoni Spa, and this is
Sheridan with Untamed Lingerie.
And we're gonna do just a live. We're gonna talk about being single and sexy and how to enhance our sexiness while being single and all of the great things. So
all of the things. And all the things that come with it.
So we're gonna wait just a second. We're gonna sip on our mocktails by Ken. Thank you to Ken for sponsoring our live video.
So excited to drink these.
You wanna tell us about Ken, Sharon?
Yes, so Ken is, well, I have a little bottle back here, but I will tag them later. But Ken is basically a non-alcoholic drink made with a lot of different herbs. It's so good. I tried a new recipe today. So it's made with a lot of different herbs, made with different adaptogens. So they have 2 or 3 different versions. So one version is called High Road. That's meant to be like the version of like liquor without liquor, basically. So there's like different herbs in there that get you going, but also like a good flow. Okay. So you're not feeling like you're drunk, you're feeling like giddy. So like if 30 minutes from now, if you see us just tripping, that's fine. Not tripping in a bad way, just like we're gonna just be vibing.
So go get your drink.
Yes.
Yay.
So good.
Mocktails.
Yes, they're really good. They also have a Dreamlight version that's good for like sleepy time, which I also use because I be wanting to turn my brain off sometimes. But they're really good. So we'll talk about that in one of our series too one day, of just about how it's healthier for us women to not drink so much liquor for obvious reasons. But we'll talk about that later.
Right. As well as, you know how I say all the time, y'all, our yonis do not like alcohol. So this is an alternative.
Yeah, so it has the Ken
delicious
drink in here. So I'll show y'all the bottle. It has Ken, comes in these cute little like glass bottles, and then we also have some blueberry juice in there and like fresh blueberries. So it's so good. This is like, I just tried this recipe out today. You're my guinea pig, so it's good. I did. I was at the store and I was like, I want to get something different for it. I was like, ooh, I think blueberries would like.
It's delicious. She did that. It's nice and like, it's just fresh.
Yeah.
It's good. Okay. So, today we're going to have it to where this is going to be a series. So today I'm going to interview Sheridan of Untamed Lingerie. So if you're not following her and you are a Honey Dip client, then after this, go to @Untamed Lingerie and follow her. And then if you're Untamed Lingerie and you're not a Honey Dip, then you can follow us at Honey Dip Yoni Spa, because we would love to have you. So if you're ready,
I'm ready.
Okay, so
are y'all ready?
Right? Are they ready?
Because I've been a client of Honey Dip for like probably
at least a year.
At least a year. And every time I come here, like my appointment's 20 minutes, but then like our conversations
are like epic.
Yeah.
Always girl talk about men. And not about men. Look, about men and not about. We talk more about zodiac signs, I think. Sheridan actually, Sheridan and Keisha, just so y'all know, she actually has me leveling up because she got me started with therapy. She was like, girl, you need to get you some therapy. I did. And it's been awesome.
Therapy will change your life.
Therapy will change your life.
Change other people's lives. If you know what I'm talking about.
Okay, so to get started, tell us about Untamed Lingerie. What is Untamed Lingerie? And you have on a beautiful
I do. I have on a beautiful fur robe. Well, feather fur trim robe. But nonetheless, Untamed Lingerie was like my little baby. So backstory, I'm marketing background, help a lot of small businesses with their business structure, with marketing, all the things. And so a few years ago, I was working with the Women's Earth and I was going to do different retreats and things like that.
I love them, by the way.
Yes. And so I met a lot of amazing women through the retreats. And so a lot of them were like sex therapists or just general therapists. And I was like, oh, this is like so cool. Because I'm like, this point I'm like 24, 25. So I'm like, okay, you start get your little peek of like, okay, like there's another level of like sensuality and sex outside of like actual sex.
Yes.
So then I was like, man, it's just like so many cool things. And then I realized as a Black woman and as a woman in general, I was like, there is no spaces for women to feel sensual that does not involve a partner, which a man, generally speaking.
Yes.
So even like when you go to sex shops, it's very like men focused.
The orgasm is very
it's very centered around
men.
men. When you go to like, even if you watch porn, it's very men focused. So I was like, everything's focused around men and not about the deeper like sensuality side of it.
And like, their pleasure.
Yes.
How do they get an orgasm?
Yes, everything's about them. So I was like, man, I really just want to create a lingerie line that empowers women, but like empowers us on a level of like tapping into our sensual side that has nothing to do with other people. Like, wake up in the morning, you're like, I'm gonna put a full face of makeup on because I just want to.
And I deserve it.
Because you deserve it.
Yes.
Yeah, one of my favorite therapists, Aneisha Bokeen, she always says, pleasure is your birthright.
That's my therapist.
Shut up. It's such a small world. Disclaimer, I don't think she's supposed to say that.
Oh, sorry.
But that is so crazy.
Yeah.
I love Aneisha. Aneisha
Okay,
inspired me.
we'll
Okay.
talk later. Okay. Sorry, that was, again, that's what happened.
Yes.
Okay.
That was one of my main inspirations because she's a sex therapist and Aneisha is just like, she's just here. She's an Aries. If y'all follow astrology, Aneisha is a Aries through and through. Her energy is just contagious. She just gives all of the feels to make you feel like, okay, like, what am I doing? Like, I need to, you know.
Facts.
So I would definitely attribute her to being one of my inspirations, especially in regards to Untamed. And yeah, that's pretty much how I launched. And I was like, what name am I going to come up with? And I was just like, Untamed, like just being like undone.
Oh,
being,
I love that.
Yeah, like being unkept, being
free.
And whatever that means for you. And I always tell people that because Untamed for you and for me may be two totally different things. So I'm not saying you have to go out and do some crazy stuff, but Untamed for one person might be like saying no to everybody for the day, not wearing a bra. Like, it could be something that to other people is like, girl, I have more bras in here. So just really like whatever that means for you. And like random backstory. So my name means Untamed, but that was not intentional.
Really? Oh, wow.
I kid you not. So the meaning of my name is Untamed and Bright. And I was like,
oh, I love that.
Was only like,
okay, Sagittarius energy, that mutable fire. How can you contain it? You can't.
And if you try, you're gonna get burnt by the fire.
We are two fire signs.
Yes.
I'm a Leo. She's a Sag.
Yes.
So yeah.
Good
okay.
energy.
I love it.
Yes.
Untamed lingerie. Okay, so tell me this. How has developing and cultivating this brand helped you with your personal sexuality?
I was just telling somebody about this earlier. I always end up having like randomly good conversations with people like out of nowhere. And I was telling this lady that we're working on like another marketing project. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, a part of Untamed unintentionally has made me feel more comfortable being Untamed. Mm-hmm. And part of it is like I can hide behind my brand and like blame it on that. So I'm like, what's for the brand? It's for Untamed. Like, I gotta be on camera in lingerie because it's for Untamed. But it's really challenged and pushed me because I think naturally I'm a very untamed person. I grew up in a very like strict environment. So I think part of it is just like unraveling who I already am. But it was one of those things where one of my good guy friends, he's a Sagittarius too, he's always like, how are you gonna be Miss Untamed and you not Untamed? Like, he's always pushing me to push the envelope. Like, he's like, how are you gonna do this and you not doing that?
Boundaries for what?
Sagittarius men. So in that sense, I would say it's helped me kind of like come out of my shell with just being comfortable wearing certain things. Like, as a larger chested woman growing up, my mom was like, you gotta put a camel sole under this, you gotta do this. And so it's made me feel more comfortable being uncomfortable, but my uncomfortability was really not wanting to make other people uncomfortable. So like, okay, I know I'm wearing my stomach out. I'm not really uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable because I feel like Joe Schmo walking down the street's gonna feel the way because I have my stomach out. So
that's a good point. And do you think that most women feel that way? Like, are we uncomfortable because we make other people uncomfortable, or do you think we're genuinely uncomfortable in certain
I think that's a good question. Y'all should definitely leave that below.
Yeah, let us know.
And let us know, like, do you feel uncomfortable because you're uncomfortable or because you're trying to like appease everybody else?
Yeah. Especially as women of color. You mentioned earlier, we're always trying to make everyone else comfortable to our
detriment.
Truly.
It's
Yeah.
like, it goes to that whole like dimming your light to appease other people.
Oh God.
So I would say, long story short, I guess that would, if I had to sum up my sexuality journey or sensual journey, it's really been around the confidence to not feel like I have to dim myself down to appease other people. Like in every area and every facet, like, okay, I'm gonna do me. And if y'all feel a way kind of about it, or it makes you feel a way, like, I'm sorry, but I'm here, and my personality is here too.
You know, that's a huge part of Honey Dip. So with Honey Dip, we want to create a space where women of color, all women, but women, where women of color can come and feel comfortable in just being, right? You don't have to worry about catering to anyone else's needs. We're going to cater to you. It's a safe space. And so, yeah, we kind of have the same alignment and purpose.
Together. And even with that, I think for me, the Untamed journey has caused me to seek out the different resources. So it's like, I was aware of like steaming, but like we have more deeper conversations about steaming and Yoni eggs. As well. Still haven't dipped my feet in that one just quite yet. But I think that's also something that I've learned is like, it's causing me to seek other resources. Like, what exists for women to allow us to feel sensual and tap into that?
To freedom.
Cheers
to
Cheers to freedom.
Wait, is
that
my phone
low battery mode?
Oh gosh.
No, we are the worst.
We are like
fire signs. For sure. We knew we were going live.
We're talkers.
And our phones are on 20%.
We're talkers. Like, we're talkers.
Because I'm like, okay, if my phone dies, it's fine because her phone, and we're like, oh, okay. So we'll definitely adjust.
There's Aisha, another Sag. Aisha is here helping us out, by the way, guys. Like, she's a beautiful Sag. Come say hi, Aisha.
Hi. She's making sure we stay on time.
Yes,
all of that.
Okay, so what advice would you give to single women who want to be sexy and wear lingerie, but don't necessarily have a partner at home? Like, how can I be sexy and single and wear my lingerie and still just be free?
Just do it. I think it's easier wearing lingerie when you don't have a partner in the house because nobody's bothering you to take it off.
Ooh,
because usually, you know, men are like, I don't know why you have that snap in the background.
Okay.
But seriously though, it's like whenever I talk to women, they're like, oh, my husband doesn't like this, or my partner doesn't like this, or not even just doesn't like it, because men love lingerie. Let me correct myself. Men love lingerie, but they're like, you know, I'm gonna just take it off. When you by yourself and you don't have anybody disturbing your peace, you can have your little Netflix and chill by yourself all night and nobody's bothering you to take it off. Nobody. You can actually have it on for longer than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I would say just start though. I think I was talking, the same lady I was talking to earlier, she was just telling me, you know, she got married young at like 19.
Okay.
And so she was like, yeah, you know, you have to spice it up because she's 34, so they've been married like 15 years now. And she's like, yeah, I would like clean in lingerie.
Yes.
So even just little things like I've had to do it. So I guess that goes back, it goes back to what you were asking earlier, because I wouldn't ask y'all to do anything that I haven't tried. Yeah. So there's been days where I have like more comfy lingerie where I'm like, I'm gonna just sleep in this tonight.
Yeah.
For just because and my roommate has taught me that too. She's not super big on lingerie, but she's super big on just like really sexy pajamas.
I love it. Yeah.
But I love it. But she's gotten me into that because I used to be the t-shirt and like whatever t-shirt and cheerleader shorts, like t-shirt, going to bed. But it's like it makes you feel different when you're just.
It's cultivating your sensuality, literally. Yeah. So I love to like put on cultivating. It's cultivating that sensuality. So like putting on your lotion and being very intentional before bed and spraying yourself with perfume, like have a sleep perfume, put your lingerie on and like set the mood for sexiness and tapping into that sacral chakra and tapping into your creativity. Because sexual energy is not just physical sex, but it's creativity. It's that energy and that vibe. So you can tap into that vibe.
And then too, that made me think of treat yourself as if you were your partner. Oh, so like,
because you are your life's partner. Your Yoni is your girl. Yes, just
that. But seriously, that's something for me that I've like, because I thought about you when you were like, put your lotion on, do this and this. Like, act as if your partner was there. I think sometimes we feel like, why am I doing all this stuff and nobody's here? And it's like, aren't you worth like dressing up for and being cute for. Like, why does it take having your boyfriend or girlfriend or wife or husband being home to be like, now put some lotion on and make it look like something around the house? Like, you know, actually trying before that person is there. Like, I think that's super important. And it's like, I'm not always the best at it, but there are days where I'm just like, girl, put some lotion on when you get the shower. It's like, girl, put the lotion on. Like, you don't have to be trying to like
impress anyone.
Anybody. You want yourself.
Yes. Now, see, my thing with lotion is I have to have lotion. Okay. My mama always told me, like, you're a brown girl, so you gotta put some lotion on. So that
I'm definitely good for getting that.
That's my thing.
When I was in college, one of my guy friends would be like, look at your ankles. Like, he always knew to check my ankles because he was just like, he knew to check your ankles. He would always check my ankles.
Girl, I am the friend that got 3 bottles of lotion in my purse, and I'm gonna be like,
it's just not always.
Oh, got it. Okay,
it's there.
Okay.
Yeah, but even like you said, just treating your body like you were your partner. So
your temple. It's your temple.
Massaging yourself, massage oil when you get out the shower. All of the things. Treat yourself as if your partner is already here.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so what are some healthy ways to tune into your sexuality as a single lady?
Ooh, what's considered unhealthy?
I mean, you know,
it's like, let's talk about what's unhealthy so that I can.
That's a good question. What is there a such thing as unhealthy? I mean,
So what I was gonna say, I don't want to sound against sexual liberation because I think that's a thin line.
Right.
I would say the only thing that would be considered unhealthy is when you are, I guess, having meaningless sexual encounters. Yeah. And I think that's different for everybody.
Right.
So that's why I was just like, I don't want to offend anybody because there's a thin line between like sexual freedom and being healthy in your sexual freedom, and then sexual freedom where you're being careless about the energy exchanges. So I think that's more so like, I think the healthy version is exploring your sexuality as long as you are honoring your higher self and your energy in the people that you're engaging with. So I feel like that was vague. But
no. I mean, I think that's a great answer because, like you said, when you don't honor that energy, it is unhealthy. You know,
because everybody's thing is gonna look different. Like some people they're exploring maybe getting Yoni. Like for some people, getting a Yoni theme is like a new world. You know. And then for some people, it may be like having multiple partners or going to a swingers club. So there's so many ranges of like what that could be. I would just say make sure you're being true to you and like honoring your higher self.
That's it. Being true to yourself.
But I guess for ideas purposes, Yoni themes I think are a great way to start. I think that's a good dipping your feet in the spa pool. Yes. Yoni themes are good just because you kind of reconnect with your womb. And first of all, you're clearing out old energies from past partners, okay? Clear it out.
My friend Dominica says the ghost of old peen. Another Sagittarius. Yes, clean out the ghost of old
peen. For me, like when I have Yoni things, I'm like, okay, you don't exist anymore.
You're dead.
Like Drea said, canceled. So, but
he tore up his birth certificate. Yes.
My womb does not recognize this energy. Not welcome. But I think Yoni themes are a good place to start. Yoni eggs, even though I'm still getting into Yoni eggs.
Girl, Yoni eggs will change your life. Listen, they will change your life. They can't go anywhere. They can't get stuck.
We talk about this every time. She tries to convince me every time.
Your life. Like, imagine having you have crystals, right?
Yeah.
You can't. Okay. So imagine that energy, like, in your womb. Like, oh, girl. Oh, yeah.
It sounds like a good
idea. And ladies,
that's for the untamed train.
It's also good for foreplay because you're knowing how to control the egg and the flow of the egg. It also helps you to release some of the control, right? Because we want to release the egg when we want it to come out, and sometimes that egg is like, I'm staying because we got work to do. I'm gonna talk to you, sis.
I think that's probably why I haven't tried it because
probably so. She has control issues. Me too.
I have control issues. So that is the thing. But I think Yoni themes are a good place to start dating around. So dating and trying out, not say trying out, but like it came out.
Let them audition. Let them audition, right? Like let them audition. That's what I say.
Just exploring. I think for me, something I'm doing in my single season is like dating people that I wouldn't usually date, whether that's like outside of my race or just outside of my typical type. Okay. So exploring sensuality in that way. trying new clothes that's different for you, whether that's a different color, whether that's something that's just a different fabric, like trying out silks, trying out things that just feel like good.
What fabric do you like to sleep in, by the way?
Ooh, so it's between silk and cotton. It really depends on how I feel. If I'm like in a bummy mood, like I need to feel comforted, cotton.
Yeah.
But then when I'm feeling like, ooh, like, you know, I wish I had somebody here right now. Like, so those are two modes. I think it's the. What about you? I know you're interviewing me, but I just want to know.
I mean, I like silk.
It just makes you feel sexy.
Yeah. Honestly, y'all, a lot of times I don't sleep in anything, but you should try that.
That's a good way to start too. A lot of people do not sleep with underwear on. And
you shouldn't.
Pajamas.
You actually should not.
I know.
Listen to the Yoni girl.
Too,
you
like,
really should not sleep with underwear on. Like you shouldn't, right? It's don't. Okay.
Just don't do it. So that's something else too. So
let it breathe. Let
try
it be
sleeping
free.
naked. Try going commando. You can go commando.
I support
that wearing a bold lip color. There's so many ways to just explore. I would say just do what like scares you in a safe way.
Oh, yeah.
But that's something I'm trying, not even just on the sensual side, but just like trying to do new things every day or every week. That's okay. The norm. Because life is so short.
You know what? That's a good thought. So we challenge y'all, and we're going to take the challenge. We're going to try 5 new things this week. 5 new things. Whatever it is. Today, no, it can be simple. Today is Ken.
Well, yeah.
For me, I've never tried Ken.
I've never gone live.
Okay, so that's yours. Yes.
Okay, so we already won.
Another challenge is take your Yoni seat. If you don't have Yoni seats, take your Yoni seat outside and like steam outside. I love to steam outside under the stars, girl. It's the whole thing. It is amazing.
I've heard people, even if you don't have a seat, I've seen people kind of like bathe their Yoni in the moonlight or sunlight. Oh yeah. I want to try that.
Yeah, in the moonlight you should. Yeah.
So I've seen people do that as well. So that's something to do too.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
Well, do you have any questions for me? Because next week you're gonna interview me, right?
Yes.
So that's what we're doing.
I want to talk about more of this single season.
Okay.
So we were talking off. So we have this habit of like talking about really good things off camera, and then we'd be like, we could have just been recording the whole time. But talking about single season. So I'm 27, about to be 28,
and I'm 38. I just turned 38.
Oh, so it's like a full 10 years.
Okay,
so
full 10 years. Girl, I had a moment. Did you not see the moment come across my face when I realized we were 10 years?
I know, because
it was a moment, y'all.
I have like mentors, friends of all ages. I really like don't notice until somebody says it. I'm like, we're not the same age. For real.
I didn't know it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But we were talking, I think it would be cool. So 2 things I want to talk to you about and get your insight. One, what does single mean to you now versus when you were 28?
Good question.
So what are the differences? How do you navigate single life differently between those 2 ages?
You know, I just don't have time.
Okay.
I don't have time for foolishness. I don't have time for indecisiveness. Like you at 38 plus, you need to know where you're going. You need to be headed there. Okay. You need to kind of almost really be there, right? Like you need to be, yeah. You need to be at the house. Like you need to be there. I don't have time for indecisiveness.
Okay.
I think I waited a little too late because my mom told me the other day, she was like, I think you know too much about me. Like, it's a thing. You know, like you should have gotten married sooner because you know a little too much. And you fight bullshit right off. And you're not entertaining any of it. And at 28, I was still I had this idea of what. Now, the plus side is I no longer necessarily have this idea of what a fantasy marriage is gonna be like. I don't have the idea of fantasy. I can kind of go in knowing what I want and knowing whether or not that person is able to provide me with what I want, or whether or not we actually complement each other. Not what I want, because that's a little egotistical. But hold on, y'all. Sorry.
Like speaking of mamas,
mine called. Okay. Wait, Mom, call you back. I think I asked. Okay, sorry, y'all. My mom called. So, but yeah, just truly understanding what I want, and you know what? Oh, I was telling this to Asia earlier.
Okay.
Something else that I know at 38 that I didn't know at 28 is listen to what the man tells you.
That's
He's
it. Not the
speaking
actions.
his truth, right? No, because his
Yeah.
actions are telling, but his voice, he's going to tell you. Most men say what they want, and then we go, but you don't really want that. Or I can
He's
change your
telling you.
mind. Or I can stay a little bit longer and he's going to
Yeah.
change his mind, right? No.
Yeah.
He told you right off top
Yeah.
what he wanted. Trust him. Believe him and when he says that.
True. So how has sensuality too, and I'll chime in on the 28 side too later, but
No, go ahead.
okay,
Yes.
okay, well I'm gonna follow up
Okay.
about sensuality at 38.
Okay.
So for me, I'm about to be 28 in like 3 months.
Okay.
For me was different. I think a thing
Girl, we're
went
2
off.
months away.
Are we?
Yes.
Okay,
Come
well,
on, birthday girl.
for me what's changed, it's only changed in the last like year, but kind of getting to that realistic point of like, I still have a little fantasy in there, but it's also like, okay, what's realistically attainable?
Oh.
Also, there's this girl I follow on Twitter who does like these workshops, and she gave like the realistic timeline of what it means to be a woman versus society, and she's like at 27, 28 is like when you realize what you want and not like what your family wanted for you. So that's for me. That space is where I'm entering now at 28. Or I'm gonna say I'm 27.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go ahead.
But really like just being realistic, really challenging myself to date outside of what my norm is.
Okay.
Like, so I've had a similar type most of my life, at least aesthetically wise, and kind of personality wise too. So that, and then at 28 too, a lot of my friends, and I think this might just be a generational thing because we have access to like therapy and stuff now.
Right.
But you realize like the different things that you've kind of inherited from your parents and their ideas, or Asia's like,
Yes.
that, but like not even in a bad, I mean, some bad ways. I love y'all, but not even a bad way, but just things you internalize that you don't even realize. So I've dated people where our parents had 2 totally different relationships. It's where we butted heads because like my idea of marriage, my parents don't really fight. Like they're very they're earth signs. They're just like A is A, B is B. We're not arguing, we're not fighting. So that's what I'm used to. So I'm like, if anything deviates from that, I'm like, this is not working because arguing, what is this? Like, I've never seen this before. So learning like what ideas of marriage and relationship I've kind of like adopted because of what I've seen, and then figuring out like what do I want, like what's acceptable, and really just challenging that. So I'm kind of excited to see like what my dating life will be in the next couple of years because thankfully I didn't like get married early. And that's not a knock to anybody.
No,
that has,
thankfully for me
but
too.
I know
God
a lot of people
spared
that
me.
have, and some are happy and some aren't. Some have gotten divorced because they were like, this is not for me. And I'm here for people saying this is not for me and not being afraid to get divorced after a couple of years because life is short.
Life is short.
Yeah. So that's been my thing.
It's too short to live miserably.
It's
That's another thing.
because
See,
you
that's
can file that
another thing
paperwork.
that Asia and I were talking about earlier. I know now at this age that men don't live miserably.
Oh no.
Ever. They will.
Men are gonna do whatever is best for them.
They're
all the time.
not gonna live uncomfortably. They're not gonna be miserable. Like they're not. They will leave before they.
That's
live
something
miserable.
too. Yeah, it's something where you're just like, okay, I know everybody else is doing what's best for them, so I'm gonna do what's best for me. I think that's the 28 thing too. Like that, and then I've noticed a lot of my friends. A lot of us dealt with like codependency relationships.
Okay.
I don't know why. It just seems like a theme. So we're coming out of that where it's like, this was not healthy. Like we need to have more healthier attachments to people and being like, my time is my time. Yes, I want to see you, but I'm tired. Or
I think the codependency relationship is a vital part of elevation. So I think we've all needed to go through a codependency relationship to understand like, oh wait, I am capable of doing this, and I can. I think that's a part of the evolution in this relationship.
I think
Meeting
that's
your
the only
mirror.
way you'll waking up.
Meeting your mirror.
Yeah, meeting your mirror and being like,
I don't like this about myself, and I need to change this.
So I think that's been the thing. So now I'm excited because I'm like, okay, I've learned all this without having to learn it in a marriage. So it's now I'm like, okay, I'm closer to attracting the type of relationship that I want.
You said something so important. You said
I was trying to remember what I said.
she said that she's starting to explore and date outside of what she typically dates. And I remember doing that at 28. Yeah. And I now realize I'm gonna own that I like who I like. Okay.
At least you know because you tried that.
Yeah, I tried it. And I think I like who I like. Now, it doesn't have to be like, I don't have a checklist and it's like, oh, he doesn't have this, X him off. Or, oh, he doesn't look like that, X him off. But I'm saying like personality-wise and passion and motivation and all of those things, I really like what I like, and I don't think that's gonna change because I think that fosters something in me, and heightens my level of evolution too.
So for me, dating outside of my type is more on the physical side.
Got it.
Like if you look at all of my exes, you would be like,
they're the same person.
This is the lineup. Like, you would be like, okay. So it's more so that, and then also there are a few personality things that I think in the past I've been attracted to because of like, you know, when you raise a certain way, you see your dad may have a certain personality, and like I'm used to like love in a certain way.
Yeah, me too.
And then you attract certain type of men constantly, and you're like, you know.
Yeah.
So it's more so that it's a physical thing, and it's also like, okay, I know I can't date a man if his personality has that
trait.
Marker.
Yeah.
The marker is asshole. I didn't want to beat around the bush. And I think that too because I'm changing. It's like I used to really like take pride in being the asshole, and I'm not naturally an asshole.
Okay.
Most of the time, I'm not. That's like not my natural.
Is that a social media thing? Because I know in our day, like that wasn't a thing, but as social media like evolved, that's becoming. Is that? I think
mine was probably a defense mechanism.
Got it. Okay.
That because I have a very calm personality, but I took it overboard in the sense of like just being cold with people.
Got it.
Just as a defense mechanism.
Okay.
Once I realized I didn't want to be that way, I was like, well, then the people I'm attracting are going to be different because before I was attracting that type of energy, and now I'm like, no, I want somebody that's kind of warm and, you know.
See, that's the great thing about your singleness. And listen, it is so important, ladies, to take breaks in between relationships so you can reflect on like what it is that went wrong in your last relationship and to heal from it. Don't break too long. Yes.
Well, because one of my friends,
no, you're right.
One of my friends was saying that she's been single like. She's dated, but she's been like single, like 5 years. She's like, I would never advise anybody to go. Like,
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. At least date a little bit in between time. Doesn't have to be serious.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stay in the game.
Yes. Okay. So you had another question.
Yes. So I've heard that after women turn 30, the libido just goes up to the sky for women.
32.
Okay.
I would say 30. I would say about 32.
It's 32. So.
Yeah, about 32, 30. about 32, 33. And it's because that's at that point you really do like who you like. But when you like them, you really like them. And so the attraction is real, you know, and you know that you're attracted for more ways than just the physicality. Like now you're attracted to this person's being, their whole being, and that enhances
the whole vibe.
And then you're starting to play around. What happened is freedom happens. Untamed.
I thought you were gonna say that. You don't care, so you don't care.
Because then you don't care. You don't care. You're not trying to impress anyone. You're truly, for the most, if you've done the work and you've taken your Saturn Return, this is why if you've taken that moment of Saturn Return, and that's for my astrology ladies out there, and you've done that work that 27, 28 to 32 has prepared you for.
For people who may not know.
Okay.
Like a brief little, like, you know.
It's just that, you know, there are no real words for it. You just come out on the other end much better. So I guess it's kind of like when Saturn kind of comes around to your birthplace. And you're learning those lessons, those deep, heartfelt lessons, and Saturn is there to kind of like remind you, but it's here to remind you of what you're here for and who you truly are. And so that's actually when this whole Yoni practice in. Okay. Oh, that's interesting.
This knock 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 on the wall.
Okay, that whole sorry guys. But that whole Yoni world came for me is like right during my Saturn return. That's when I started studying the power of my Yoni and manifesting from my Yoni and manifesting the life that I wanted to see. And so Saturn return will do that. It's the best blessing that the universe could give you, but child, is it work? Yes, it is, but it's so worth it.
It's like life is work, I guess.
Life is work, but like, it's so worth it.
The planets are always changing, so it's like there's always. Because I was telling my friend, so for me, I'm about to be. Yes, I know.
Okay,
we're about to be. I'm about to be in my Saturn return in March. So anybody that's born like 92, 93, late 91, Saturn is about to be back in Aquarius in March. But I was telling her, I was like, 2020 already feels like that. But I am excited just because on the 28 side of things, I feel like for me, like being single at this age, one, you've already kind of like had your experimentation phase where this is the first time where I've been single where I don't feel like I have to be like dating somebody. Like I've always been dating somebody or had somebody in the wings or like talking to a lot of people. But now I'm like, I don't really care. Like y'all kind of annoying. Like I'm kind of like at that phase where it's like I'm only talking to you if
I need you to come
care. Yeah, well that too. I ain't messing up my vibe. No, but now it's different. I don't know. It was like I think that's the Sagittarius thing. Like before, it's like I always was talking to somebody or dating somebody. And now it's like I'm good. Like I don't. If somebody comes along and I enjoy your vibe or your space, we're good. And if not, I'm okay. I think quarantine kind of made me comfortable with that too. So like going through the single phase and also being in quarantine is like you really have to like be. Your energy has to be lit for me to like want to be in your space. Like I'm not just gonna entertain somebody just because I'm single.
What's the point?
Yeah, and I guess that goes into the sensuality side too, where now you kind of learn your body too when you're single. If you give it a chance, if you go being single, if you go without having sex for a little bit, you learn your period more. You learn your body's like phases. Like there's 4 phases we kind of go through of like our 28 days of cycle. You learn that. You learn what ovulation really feels like. You learn what person you were having sex with that might have been fucking up your pH or your period.
Exactly.
Like,
and that's the thing. Side note, because you know the Yoni. Let's come to the Yoni part.
That's the thing,
ladies.
Because I didn't get my themes in quarantine.
That is a thing. Your body will scream to you, "Hey, this person doesn't belong there." A lot of times when your pH is off, you're thinking like, "Oh, my man is doing." A lot of ladies come here and they're like, "Well, my man, I feel like he's cheating because my pH is off." No, your body is rejecting.
Your body's just like,
and it's saying, "Girl, this ain't the one."
And your body will tell you in different ways. Like I've had conversations with friends where it's like, you literally are like disgusted, or it's not pleasurable, or even might be after the fact. You might enjoy it and then you notice that every time you're with this particular person, like shit just goes away. Or your energy's off. Like my roommate one time was like, every time there's one person over here, like you just always end up staging. Like I've never, it's not like, it's subconscious I guess, but she was like, every time there's one person over here, like the next day, like you in the house just staging. And I was like, I never noticed that, but I was like, you're right, but you don't notice that when you're in a constant relationship with somebody.
No, you don't.
Y'all's energies mix. Versus if you're more casually dating or more like intentionally dating, you're like, okay, when this person's over here,
this is how I feel,
or this be happening good. You notice both, so you're able to kind of navigate that. So that's been my journey of 28. Like, okay, now I know. I'm like, nah, your energy off, dude. It's just not. You gotta go home.
Okay, so just we're gonna go ahead and wrap things up. But if I had to give a tip, let's give tips. If I had to give a tip, my biggest tip would be about single and sexiness is your confidence in yourself. We have to develop this confidence that is unshakable, an unshakable confidence in ourselves, because that is what allows us to manifest the mate that we need and the mate that we deserve. So if I could say a tip, have confidence, ladies.
Yes. Ooh. How do I back that up? Yeah, I'm like, we got the Jill Scott playing in the background. I'm like, a powerful word. Ooh. I don't know, you stumped me on that one. My tip would be, I guess going back to what I said earlier, just try new things. Like, I think something happens to us on an energetic level when we are surrounding ourselves with new energy and new things. So, like I said earlier, I'm challenging myself to do that with one of my girlfriends. Like, we're purposely going to places that we've never been before to go to brunch, or go to happy hour on another side of town, or read a book that's like out of the norm. Like, little things, I think it just does something different to your spirit and your aura. And you're not, I guess you're like keeping that energy moving. So if you're going through a single season and you're newly in a single season, especially, like, try totally different things, because that'll help rewire your brain faster, like not feeling like you're in that same space.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I love it. Just do it.
Yeah, just do it. I mean, life is short too. Like, it's like we can spend 50 years like taking the same route home, eating the same thing for lunch, like going to happy hour at the same spot, like having all these things, and it's like, for what? It's just like, what is that gain? Like, it's not really benefiting us, and we're not challenging ourselves, and we're not learning about ourselves. So you may find out you're a morning person. You may find out you really don't like bubble baths, or you don't like drinking. I kind of learned that in quarantine. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, you did. Let's talk about that next week. Let's add that to the list.
Yes.
Are we doing Ken next week as well?
Yes, we can do Ken every week.
Okay.
As a reminder, we'll have something like in the bio, the caption next time, to where you can get more information. But I'm on this 30-day challenge of Blisstober with Ken Euphorics. They're at Ken Euphorics on Instagram. And basically, they are non-alcoholic drinks. Really just trying to get you back in touch with who you are. Their whole purpose is having meaningful, social, conscious connections. So basically, being conscious when you are having these interactions. So it's been a good journey so far. So I'm excited
to start with you and all that. I don't drink very much anyway, but new things. Yeah. So this is my new thing of the day. Hers
Should we
is
read
live,
the comments?
and
what the comments have to say.
Can you see?
Any questions?
Okay. Let me see.
I know there's I've seen people comment on both sides, and I'm like,
oh,
man,
that's kind of tilted. I don't know if we can.
Well, thank you for all the comments. We're trying to go through and see what's there before we tap off.
Let's see.
Loving all the hearts and likes. Thank y'all for joining in.
Yes.
I think next time maybe we can do like
5. That's a lot. What y'all was talking
about? We should
about?
do a giveaway.
Yes.
Next time we'll do a giveaway.
And maybe we'll do like a question thing early.
Yeah. We'll have it up by Monday, and then we'll choose a winner. No, we'll have it up by the weekend. We'll choose a winner on Monday, and then announce it during our live. So it'll be next Tuesday, 8 p.m. I'm Aneisha of Honey Dip Yoni Spa, and this
Make
is...
sure to follow Honey Dip Yoni Spa on Instagram. And if you are in Houston, they are located on the south side near NRG.
2600 South Loop
Exact address. I was like, the south side. You know, you say south side, people like,
But you can go online to honeydipyonispa.com to book your Yoni steam, to purchase your Yoni eggs. We have waist beads here with amazing crystals. And then we have Miss Sheridan of Untamed Lingerie.
Thank you.
Give them your website.
Yes, Untamed Lingerie on Instagram, and on our website, Untamed Lingerie. Super excited. Get all of your lingerie needs and enjoy the
That could be your new thing for the week. Get you some lingerie. That could be your thing for the week.
Lingerie addicts in the comments.
Yay! All right. Well, y'all, we're gonna listen to Jill Scott and finish our Ken, and we'll see you next week. We love you. Peace.
Oh God.
Right here. Nope.
Okay.
That's it. Okay.